bang. Here we go. We're back and running. Mr. 𝗪 𝗪, back-to-back fantasy football champion, Colorado Mesa, Arizona State Sports Line Business by way of TPG, joining us from the Eastern Seaboard. Well, do you call Kentucky on the East Coast, or you guys say Midwest?
No, Midwest. No,
Midwest
no
South?
C. Yep, we're not on the coast.
Right. I just didn't know. I wanted to make sure, geographically, we're the bluegrass
Well,
state.
I'm glad you brought this up. There's a lot of discussion about this specific topic because, like you're saying, technically Kentucky is a Midwest state. It is directly right in the middle. However, they have found a way to make themselves part of the South, if you will.
Yes.
So take it for what you're worth. We're not on the East Coast. We got no water in the middle, but we've decided to say we're in the South. If you ask me, it's the Midwest. Interesting.
I will say, side topic, there was a big debate going on. Is Denver in the Midwest or are they on the West Coast? And for the longest time, you were a big advocate of Denver, Colorado,
Midwest
is
state.
in the Midwest.
Absolutely.
And me, as someone who was from the West, I said, God doesn't know what he's talking about. Colorado's on the West Coast. Now, after actually getting boots on the ground in Colorado, I have since joined the Colorados in the Midwest part of the region.
No doubt about it. No one can change my mind on that.
No, yeah, it's like I said, I've seen some things, and it's definitely in the Midwest. What a better way to get this college football and the football segment show started off than talking about Colorado being in the Midwest. But as we get to football season right around the corner here, let's start off with, as a Penn State fan, the Nittany Lions got I think it's a make or break it year for Mr. James Franklin. I could be wrong, but as a diehard Penn State fan, Mr. 𝗪𝗪, you've had time to look at the schedule, feelings around the team, season's right around the corner. Do we think this is a make it or break it year for Mr. James Franklin?
There's no doubt about this is a make or break it year. This is ranked number 2 going into the season. This is probably, on paper, it's a toss-up right now between Texas and Penn State, who's got the best roster. So this is one of the premier teams going into the season, and it all lies upon 2 games, in my opinion. September 27th, Oregon versus Penn State, whiteout game.
Great.
November 1st, Penn State versus Ohio State in Columbus. Those will determine the season. They really will. And then obviously now it's different with the playoff structure and everything like that. But depending on how our team plays in those 2 games, regardless of win or loss, do you compete? Do you have enough to get over the hump? Will determine if this is a national championship team. But I agree with you. I mean, if they're not a top seed, if they don't make a big run into the playoffs, this is not going to be good for James Franklin. This could be it.
No, I agree. I think
this could be it.
It's kind of dramatic to say, but when you're at a premier team like that, a premier program. I mean, we saw LSU do with Ed Orgeron. The guy won a national championship, had arguably the best team that's ever been assembled in the planet Earth, and then he's fired 2 years later. I mean, that's how it goes.
That's college football today. It's pure chaos.
It really is. And speaking of pure chaos, week 1, we have the Longhorns, University of Texas, at Austin versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. Let's get your read on that matchup as number 1 versus number 3 starting off the college football season.
It really doesn't get better than this because we're going in. So right now, tomorrow's week 0. So we've got the Iowa State, Kansas State game in Dublin. Great little kicker offer. It's kind of, if you ask me, it's still preseason football. Not a problem. Give us a week because then we're going to hammer it on you. And there's no reason Texas doesn't win that game. There really isn't. Texas has the better quarterback. Texas has the better roster. But it is an enemy territory. It is the defending national champions, Ohio State. You just never know. I'll tell you what, there's so much hype on it, and it probably is the truth. Number 4 for Ohio State is probably the greatest college football player to walk the face of the earth when it's all said and done.
He's a good football player.
He is good. He's a freak, man. There's no doubt he wins a Heisman within the next 2 years. Because that's the thing. He's only a sophomore. He still has to play 2 more years. Yeah.
Well,
so it'll be a fun game.
One of the things we were chatting about recently is Mr. Smith in the Rose Bowl game, so to speak.
Yes.
There was a certain team up in Oregon that forgot to cover number 4 for a majority of that game. And so now we're going into another campaign where if he's not double or triple covered on every play, the defensive coordinator needs to be fired.
Correct. That's exactly what I'm going to say. If this kid's not double teamed, you don't have a chance. And even still, I just don't know if you've got a chance. If the quarterback that just named Julian, if he's a gunslinger, if he's all the hype that they say he is, Ohio State's right back at it. I mean, they really are.
Yeah, no, if that kid can play, like I said, Ohio State's always going to have the talent. So it's not like just because they lose a few players from last year, they're just not going to be in it again.
Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. And like I said with Texas, I mean, the hype on Arch Manning is as expected. Loved his comment. This was, I think it was this off season or maybe last off season. Marty Smith, I believe, was interviewing him, and he goes, what do you think about all this hype? He goes, a lot of undeserved attention. I mean, just cut from the coon cloth. I mean, he's a Manning. He's dialed. They were begging him to transfer. He stays. Like, it's all, it's literally everything that Steve Sarkisian and this Texas program has been building is for this kid in this year.
Yeah, no,
so
they're all on the line.
Yeah,
and it could be, as we're talking about Mr. Franklin, it could be a make it or break year for Sarkisian. I mean, if they don't get it this year, maybe Arch comes back for another year. Who knows?
I'll tell you what. Don't forget how in the dumps Texas football has been since their national champion, since Mac Brown, since Colt McCoy. Like, he brought them from the dead. He really has. And for them to be able to come to the SEC from the Big 12 and compete is a big thing. I don't think Steve Sarkisian, as long as he continues to do what he does, they won't get rid of him just because this is so big for their program and coming back to life. Like, they can't risk getting someone bad in there.
Good point. Yeah, well, and, you got Mr. Tricep himself, Matthew McConaughey, roaming the sidelines.
Correct.
I'm sure he'll be boots on the ground up in Columbus, flexing the tricep and that burnt orange leather jacket, getting the boys ready to run.
Correct.
And I always wonder if the football guys are like, let's get the actor off the field. Like, let's play football here.
There's not a chance.
Like,
There's not a chance,
there has
Connor.
to be, right?
They like celebrating with him. No,
okay.
Not a chance.
Okay.
I'm sure with the amount of donations he's had to that program and that university, he could walk wherever he wants to walk.
He's calling plays.
Yeah.
Speaking of Texas, it's kind of bringing them back into the blue blood conversation. They were kind of dormant for a while there, so it was good to see kind of the premier programs come back. I mean, it kind of reminds you like Miami every year, UFC. Like, these teams are always like, I think USC's even ranked. I know they're ranked 29 this year, but no, it's Miami that's 10. Where you have these blue bloods who are just ranked high. I mean, I'm not sure. You got Carson Beck at quarterback. I'm not sure what other kind of star players they have. So as we look at the top 25 rankings and beyond, let's get your dark horse pick for a college football playoff. We don't have to say national championship, but berth. Kind of your dark horse team.
I mean, I don't know what it is, but I'm on Texas Tech. I think they are just loaded. All the oil money in Lubbock. That program is just developing and getting so many talented, high-level recruits. I may be a year or two early on it, but Texas Tech has a chance to really start making an impact in college football with the new landscape and all the oil money that's in Lubbock. You can already see it with the recruits they're getting, but I'm on Texas Tech. I think the Big 12 is always up for grabs right now. Obviously, the ASU Sun Devils winning that conference last year was awesome. They're right back. I really am a believer in what Kenny Dillingham's doing down in Arizona State, as well as the quarterback there. So don't get me wrong there, but I think the ACC's got Clemson and some of these other conferences. They've got their, if you will, top 2, 3 teams that are going to make it. I think the Big 12, being that automatic berth, it's one of those where it's wide open to some of these teams. Like the level playing field in the Big 12 is way more closer than some of these other conferences when you've got your 2 or 3 powerhouses. And it's like, well, we don't have a chance to make it. We got to somehow be a wild card.
Yep. No, very true. And ever since you mentioned that a few days ago about Texas Tech, it's hard to not keep your eye on them. Another team who I think we could be a few years early on is Kansas, as they just
there you go.
$300 million donation. So anytime you get that much coin, those guys are starting to earmark it for here, facilities, players, etc. And they got themselves a nice dual threat quarterback out there. I'm not sure if they've added any defensive positions, but I know he can sling it, he can run around.
Absolutely,
I think it's much deeper than I think people are giving the credit for, the Big 12, especially this year.
I was going to say, that conference, they are rolling right now because of the money that's influx, the schools, the way they're going about their business is really high level. And the fact that you do have that even playing field. There's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz to really keep that conference going. And I think it's thriving, which is very important when you've got the Big Ten and the SEC really becoming their own and really trying to transform and form college football into what it is. The Big 12 is not going anywhere. And the fact is they're doing an alternate. No, we may not have the greatest and best teams, but we're going to have competitive, great experience, great entertainment. And you never know, because you gave us an automatic bid, we're going to take Texas down to the wire, and we probably should have beat them, if you ask me. Yeah. But don't give us a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you. And it kind of goes to the broader point of you have, I guess a few years ago, it's kind of like SEC, right, in the Big Ten, or I guess now with Oregon and UCLA and USC joining now, it's basically just two mega conferences. And then the Big 12 said, hey, we're here to play some ball too. So now you're adding in, a few 13, whatever it is, 12, 13, whatever, however many teams total that is. Now you're almost up to 40 teams. So we're saying like any one of us could win the national championship on any given Saturday. So I think that's kind of something to watch. And we put up a few weeks ago the relegation style model in college sports and get a lot of this. So we had a few hundred votes come in, and the question was, like I said, would you support relegation style in college sports? We had straight up 43% yes, 43% no, 13% maybe. So as you can see,
completely split.
Completely, right? And then you got a few names in there with a lot of pros and cons, but it just goes to show the broader point that college sports is at an inflection point. It could go left, it could go right. I don't think anybody knows exactly what's going to happen next.
Right. Well, as the conversation has and everyone has brought it up and it's become a forefront of news, at some point there's got to be a structured system. The NCAA has lost that. They now have no control over it. So now it's the two mega conferences. It's the leaders coming together and putting something together. You can already start to see some change, especially at the legislation level. But then when you see in the SEC just released that they're going to finally come to a 9-game SEC play. That was always a big thing because, correct me if I'm wrong, Big Ten plays 9 or 10 conference games. All these other conferences do. SEC allows them to add another cupcake in there. Now they're finally starting to say, okay, let's get back to reality. So slowly but surely it'll start to make itself clear. But right now, until there is that clear power of this is what it's going to take and a one leader, it's going to be the wild, wild west as it is.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And we've seen, Nick Saban's name come up as some sort of commissioner, like president of College Sports Commission, etc. And there's still a lot of things that obviously have to go in either awry or, get figured out before that actually ever happens. So it'll be interesting to watch, especially in the college sports landscape. But as we're going to kind of wrap up the college side, we'll go into the NFL side. But as we end the college side, what do we think the national championship, what conference are they coming out this year? We've talked about conferences a lot the past few minutes, but we think it's coming out of ACC, SEC, Big 12, Big 10. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the truth is it's going to be a Big 10 or an SEC team. Like, let's not dance around the bush. Big 10 has dominated the past 2 or 3 years. They've had the national champion, so the SEC really needs one bad. And unfortunately, the truth is I do think there's better team at the top. The 3 teams for the Big Ten, Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, I think have a better chance of winning a national championship than the top 3 in the SEC. Now, however, I do think Texas is probably the best team in the nation out of the SEC conference. But I don't think Georgia's as strong as they have in the past. I like LSU, but the SEC Netflix documentary came out. Heck of a program if you haven't watched it.
Agreed.
Is Brian Kelly a fit with LSU and everything that's going on? I don't know. It's just he's a Big Ten coach, if you ask me. Like, that's what we expect at the Big Ten. The SEC, I don't know if that necessarily rolls together. It's kind of why Ed Orgeron, similar coach, hit it once, had the roster all worked out, and it's like, okay, get out of there. Because, the SEC moves a little differently than other conferences and other landscapes across the country here.
Yeah, no doubt one. And Mr. Orgeron was drinking 12 to 15 Red Bulls a day, which is, that's a good amount.
That is a good amount. He's down to 6 now, so feeling better about himself.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he goes to a doctor, if he does that whole thing, or someone had to have told him.
Yeah.
Because what is that, 12, almost 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day? That can't be.
Yeah.
That can't be good for the heart. Can't be. It cannot be. It cannot be recommended. No, I mean I'm sure Red Bull's stoked because that's a whole case a day almost he's gone through.
Yeah.
But that's what it takes to be a high level SEC football coach. So you got to stare down the barrel of that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up that point too, just segueing back to that documentary. For those that are saying these SEC coaches are overpaid, these college football coaches are overpaid, yeah, go get a taste of that lifestyle. Have your wife tell Shane Bieber, South Carolina, his wife, yeah, if we lose, I'm not leaving the house that week. So just throw that out there for, yeah. That doesn't happen. So imagine that lifestyle, people.
Oh yeah, no. And then speaking of lifestyle, we'll crank it up a notch. But NFL's right around the corner. Got a lot of exciting stuff going on. The Cowboys documentary just dropped. Mr. Jared Jones is getting himself in some hot water here and there. Going into it, NFL season, we got a lot of good storylines. Is Michael Parsons going to be on the Philadelphia Eagles? He's going to be on the Cowboys. He's going to be a Packer. A lot of exciting stuff. And your Broncos have been getting a ton of praise. I mean, every time I watch a sports show, someone would say, all right, who's your dark horse? Who's going to win the Super Bowl? And everyone says it's the Broncos. So as a native Bronco fan, what are our thoughts on everyone jumping on the Broncos bandwagon before the season started? How do we feel about that?
And they're too late. This has been years in the making. They buried us when we got rid of Russell. Took the largest dead cap hit in history, $85 million spread over 2 years. Dogged on us for taking Bo Nix 12th overall, and all of a sudden now they're back on us. Okay. They're too late. I'll tell you what. No, this is a really good football team. The division's tough though. Our division will hurt each other. We're gonna beat each other out, and it's just gonna be who can win those division games will ultimately determine how that shapes out. We've got the best defense in the league. Our offense is continuing to improve. More pieces around Bo Nix. If he jumps up another level, this is a playoff team. This is a team that can win the AFC West. This is a contender in the AFC. But if he doesn't, and he plays this same level, even if he goes a little down, we're in trouble because the Chargers and Chiefs are no joke. They just really aren't. Now, the Chargers did lose their left tackle, and I don't know. I've never sold on the Chargers because the Chargers are the Chargers. So I do think they're a better roster. I love Jim Harbaugh, so I'm always scared of them, but the Chargers are the Chargers. Now, the Chiefs, I don't think they're going to get away with some of the wins they got last year. I really think the NFL made sure that they got to the Super Bowl because of Taylor Swift. This year, it's not going to happen. They're not going to be able to get away with so many wins in one-score games. Broncos beat them twice. I don't care what anyone says. We make that field goal 9 out of 10 times, and we beat them 2 times last year. Lucky them. They block the kick. We lose, and they somehow go, whatever the stat was, 10-1, 15-1 in one-score games.
Yeah, that's football. You got a lot of make or breaks going each way, and you're talking about the 16-14 loss as it was in November, if I'm correct.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and something to note, I'm just looking at the stats here, but it goes to your defense. Mr. Kareem Hunt rushed for 35 yards that game.
Oh, yeah. See how many times we sacked Mahomes. Oh, we were all over him. I mean, that's the lowest points they scored all year, 16. Yeah. No, we've got the Chiefs number right now. There's no doubt about it.
And I do think a good addition with the Denver Broncos is Mr. Dre Greenlaw.
Thank you. Absolutely.
That's a great
what a beast.
Right there.
You just dump him after he tears his Achilles. That's a shame, San Francisco. We'll take him right away, man. Dude can fly like a missile.
That's going to be hungry. Oh, yeah. That's a great addition to a defense that's already elite.
I know.
And you believe that the Broncos are coming out as division leaders. Have you made that public knowledge yet, or is that still your thoughts?
That is still my thoughts. Yeah, I really do. I think they win the division. I think the Chiefs are second, and I don't think the Chargers make the playoffs. Mainly because I do think there's 3 teams coming out of the AFC North this year. That would be my hot take. Yep. I think it's Baltimore.
Steelers, Ravens, Baltimore, or
correct. Bengals.
Okay.
Those are my 3. Then I think the Bills win the AFC East, and I believe AFC South Texans Jags toss up.
You think the Jags are making a comeback?
Oh, yeah. I've always been a fan of Trevor Lawrence.
Okay.
I really do.
I like it.
So that would be kind of my AFC teams.
We'll go down to the NFC East.
NFC East.
It has to be the Eagles, right?
I think
Eagles,
Commanders win that division.
Okay.
You know, that division has flopped, and I don't know if it's still on that pace, but like since 2005, since 2003, that division has never had the same winner 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I do
Search that
remember
up, in fact, and check me on that while I go through my NFC teams. But I think it's Commanders win that division, Eagles make the playoffs. I think in the North, we've got the Packers winning that division, the Lions, the other playoff team out of that division. NFC South is going to be the Bucks again. And then what do we got? NFC West, we're going to have I go back and forth. That's a really competitive division as well. I'm thinking 49ers win that. Seahawks make the playoffs. Or excuse me. Hold on. I forgot about the Rams. Rams win that division. 49ers. Yep. Slide around back. Bring the Seahawks back. I forgot, all the news about the Matthew Stafford stuff. The Rams are going to be good as usual.
Yeah, no doubt. And to speak as you were going through the teams there, the NFC East it's anyone's game. I mean, it's
Correct.
Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Eagles, Cowboys, Commanders, Cowboys, Eagles. I mean, it's a flip a coin. And 2001 to 2004, the Eagles won it, 4 years in a row.
Ever since then,
infants. People were infants at that point. That's outrageous.
Absolutely, and that's always a fun division. Good brands, good teams, good markets. I'll tell you what. Watch out for the Giants. I'm just saying the Cowboys really could be the fourth team. The Giants got some cooking there. It's how quickly can they get Russell Wilson to the bench and get Jameis Winston and Jackson Dart in. Have you seen their D-line? Absolutely insane. They are. You're not going to be able to block them. Yeah. No. They're going to fly around. If Dayball can get some productivity from his offense, get 17 to 20 points, they're going to win a couple football games this year. They really are.
Yeah, they've built up quite the defensive line. Even their secondary looks good as well. To me personally, I'm benching Russell Wilson before we even take the first week. I'm putting J-Bo out there. I need a gunslinger.
Make the move.
I need someone to take me into battle. And Jackson Dart, you saw the W last night. Did you see that?
I did see that.
W. I would split Russ. As long as those two guys are on the field, I'm comfortable.
You're good. Yeah.
I don't need a game manager. I need a gunslinger out there.
Yeah.
Let's get the boys riled up and let's get these things moving.
I know it. You almost rotate those two. You say, you guys are taking it serious. Like, Winston may throw a pick six. Dart may lead him down. Dart may get a sack fumble. Winston throwing an 80-yard bomb. You don't know what you're getting, but go series for series. You know what you're going to get with check down Wilson. You're going to get a sack, and he's going to dump it off to the right back. This guy is not going to win you football games. He is going to try to keep the ship afloat. He's looking to get his photos taken during the game so then he can post after for his IG account. This guy is not going to go out there and win football games. Get someone in there that's got a chance to gunsling and make some plays happen.
Yeah, I'm usually pro gunslinger, to be honest. If I've got a quarterback that's, going to want to fit it in that tight window, it's a pick, I'm taking that one over just checking it down, 2-yard completions. Let's press the ball down the field and let's trust our weapons.
Yeah. No, if Wilson's a starting quarterback, you better draft Tracy Jr., the running back, because he's getting at least 5 to 7 catches per game, minimum. The guy's a check down artist to his running back. I would just key up my linebacker on the running back and be like, dude, you're going to get a pick if you just man this guy up because he is checking down to the running back and not even looking. Trust me on that. I've seen it way too many times.
That's spoken to the fans and friends listening. Mr. Capri is a 2-time fantasy football champion going for a 3-peat. Unheard of territory. So
that's it now.
As a fantasy pro here, he's telling you to look out for Tracy.
Yeah.
Now, since we're on the topic of fantasy football,
here we go.
How do we feel about the upcoming season? Maybe give us some sleepers, some people you're eyeballing besides Tracy.
Yeah, no, it's exciting times. I think depending on the league and everything like that, there's a lot of love and hate between there's so many talented receivers that are scoring high, so receivers are kind of starting to make that play back in, but the old heads in fantasy, if you will, like the running back. So it really just depends on all that. But there's a lot of good talent out there. I would say the two that I'm heavy on, and these are kind of second, third round picks. So not necessarily sleepers, but when you're splitting hairs between in that second or third round, Josh Jacobs out of Green Bay or Chase Brown in Cincinnati as an RB2. I think that's a steal. I think either of those guys, they're probably going to play as RB1s this year, but I'm taking those guys heavy in the second round. You've got to get one of the top 5 quarterbacks. You just really do. Lamar, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. If you don't have one of those 5, I don't know if you've got a chance to win fantasy this year. So I'm always heavy on drafting the quarterback early. I don't know about the tight ends. I think it's probably better to go with the younger tight end. Because in past years, it's always been Travis Kelce, George Kittle, some of those bigger name stars. But I think the Brock Bowers, I think the Tyler Warrens, the Colston Loveland, getting those guys late in fantasy, you may actually see some benefits. Those guys may be top 5 when you usually don't see rookie or younger tight ends scoring like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like just recently we haven't really seen the tight ends like the Gronk years, right? I mean, Travis Kelce saying like putting up 1,200 yards when we saw Brock Bowers do it last year, but I just feel like the tight end has kind of been flexed out to, let's spread it out, let's get another speedster in the 3 position and send that guy around the field,
Right. Well, here's the deal. I think a lot of those catches that were going to the tight ends are going to running backs now. Just those quick little hitters, boom, or going quick outs or screen passes to the receivers. A lot of those that were going in the middle to the tight end are now being blocked based on we're seeing a lot of cover 2, a lot of focus on the middle of the field and nothing deep offenses. So now everyone's focus is get out to the boundary, get yardage as quick as you can and get quick passes versus attacking the middle of the field and the deep vertical routes that we saw in years past.
That's great analysis. And like I said, this is coming from a back-to-back champion going for a three-peat. Clearly knows what he's talking about. I mean, that's rarefied air to be back-to-back champ going for a three-peat. I mean, not many people could do that. So Mr. Pretty Noseball, he's getting ready for the upcoming season. And as we've just kind of wrapping up here on the football side of it, but we saw the UFC and Paramount do their deal with basically just abolishing the pay-per-view model, going to the $9.99 a month, whatever the deal is for Paramount. You get all the fights. With NFL, they've taken a little bit of a different approach. You got NFL Ticket, you got the Sunday, you got NFL games on Peacock, Amazon, Netflix. I think the YouTube TV is doing the first game of the year in Brazil or something. Are we seeing, where do you think the NFL will go? You think they're going to go more towards the UFC and just say, screw it, one package fit all? Or do you think they're going to say, you know what, everyone gets it, we're doing streaming devices on every platform possible?
They will keep it the way they do. And what I mean by that is you've always got to have the big players, the CBS, the NBC, the Fox, because that's your big hitters. Your local markets got to be able to watch their team for free. And they've always hit on that. They've took over Sunday as their day. And, well, actually now they've expanded. They want Monday, Thursday. They've got everything now. But their key is making sure the local's taken care of, which has been so genius. But what's interesting about the way they're going is, yes, they're making more money by spreading it out and giving some of these streaming services select games. So you can't give them all of it because it's so important to keep your local market infused in it and being able to watch it. But what they've learned is, well, we've got a massive playoff weekend. We'll give them one game. We'll give Peacock one game. And people will go and pay to watch that game. But it's only one game, so no one's freaking out. And they're still able to make more money. And what I think is even more fascinating on the media side within the NFL is you see now ESPN now owns NFL Network. Yeah. So I mean, ESPN is they're fully in it. I mean, ESPN is becoming sports. So it'll be interesting to see how that now translate. Now they own NFL media, and the NFL got a stake into ESPN. So when you're coming from the media aspect, not just the television wise, it's going to be ESPN owning all of the media for NFL.
Yeah, no, good point. And when we saw a little bit of chatter as the Sunday Ticket and Scott Hansen going, hey, maybe I'll dip my toes into the college football side of it, but I just think there's way too many teams and leagues. You can't do a Sunday Ticket type of deal for college football. I mean, you can do it league by league.
That's exactly what I was about.
Conference.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, that's exactly what I was about to say. You could have a Big Ten, you can have an SEC, you can have a Big 12 red zone. But could you imagine? I mean, that would be too much chaos going on there. Man.
You'd have to have 18 games on one screen. There's no way you'd be able to keep up with that.
Seriously.
And alternating kicks, too. I mean, NFL is like 1-4-7, right? It's pretty strict windows. College football, you could be especially on the West Coast, you'd be at 9 a.m. game, 9:32. Like, we're just kicking it off when the band gets off the field. Like, we got student interns running around trying to figure things out. There's no way that they'd be able to coordinate all those time slots.
No, seriously. But it'll be interesting. I have a feeling we'll be seeing something like that here shortly just because of all the excitement and buzz that Red Zone has created and the watching experience has completely changed. Now, would you say it's the watching experience that is why people are so attracted to it? Or would you say the host, Scott Hansen himself, is the reason people are attracted to it?
No, I think that is the most overinflated concept of all time. Like, that guy is, I mean, he's good. He's good. Don't get me wrong, but like, I think he kind of thinks he is the reason people tune into that show, and I just don't know if that's the case. Like, I'm there to watch 5 games at once, not Scott Hansen talk. Like, it's on mute most of the time, to be honest.
I'll tell you what, Connor, I am a Scott Hansen guy because throwback for people my age, yeah. You know, there was DirecTV Red Zone, and then there was Red Zone. Scott Hansen was Red Zone. DirecTV, you got Andrew Siciliano. He don't do it the same as Scott Hansen. Okay. You remember that guy?
You're kidding me.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a curveball, I'm not gonna
lie. Go mess around with his Red Zone. It's not the same as Scott Hansen's, I'll say that. I think he got benched and DirecTV finally went over to, but they were making Andrew do their Red Zone, and it was, if you had DirecTV, that was a punch in the stomach.
Okay. I could be convinced. Yeah, like I said, it's right place, right time.
Right, and I say that all due respect to DirecTV Red Zone.
Of course, yeah, we're just
we're
just putting it out there. All respect, of course. Game respects game, as we like to say.
Yes. Well, that's good times.
Oh yeah, that's just how we like to wrap things up. A little spicy, a little juicy. Keep the fans and watchers on their toes. And Mr. Kārpīte, as we have at week 0 beginning here in the next day or two, we got football right around the corner. I think we could finally say we made it. It's back. Football season's right upon us. It's going to be another great year. Any closing thoughts as we conclude another episode of the Constant Sports Podcast?
No, nothing on my end. Just excited to get this one knocked out. Looking forward to, like I said, we kick it off week 0 here in college football. Great game in Dublin, Ireland. Hopefully the lights don't run out and they can keep the beers flowing there. It's a good one. It is a little taste. It's not week 1 yet, but college football has a great week 1 schedule for us. We're T-minus 2 weeks from the NFL. So once that Labor Day weekend comes, I mean, it's a blur from there.
Yeah, it'll be all gas. No breaks, and honorary mention to longtime Constant Sports guest listener, etc., Mr. Coolman.
Yes.
For those in the sports gambling space, obviously gamble responsibly, as they say.
Yes.
But we do have a good bet on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets winning the ACC. So we'll
you
put
heard
it
here
there,
first.
and you do that with what you will. But we're looking forward to another great college football season, NFL season. Mr. Kārpīte, we appreciate you jumping on, shedding some light on all things football, sports, business, media, etc. And to all the fans and friends, listeners, this has been another episode of the Constant Sports Podcast, and we'll see you guys next week.
Hey, thanks for having me, Connor.